You is really recording.
Yeah.
Today is my honor, and I'm so grateful for have Hanger Singer with me. He is a spiritual teacher and a coach in Melbourne, and he is so unique person. I've connected with him for over 5 years, and he just has so amazing soul and spirit, and he just so good to working on be the best version of himself. So I asked him to be in my show today because I really like his soul, and I think he has so much to say to all your people, and special to all our young people out there. We really have so much to tell you. So I am so inspired to have this beautiful soul Aaron with me today. I'm so deep grateful for him to coming here. Thank you so much of all my heart. And please listen to our show with careful ears and be open to listen, because it's very important you listen to our show and keep listen and write a comment if you want to ask of something, because then we can come back to you with a question. So thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for reaching out to me and asking me to be part of your program and what you do. And you are an amazing soul as well. You have beautiful energy about you. And yeah, thank you. And I'm so blessed, and I'm so humbled. You asked me to be part of this show. So thank you.
Welcome. And today I would like you to tell people about, because I'm just writing a blog about breathing, because I've learned we should tell a little story. So I live in a place, and the people here have some kind of sickness, and I say it actually could help you to breathe. And I say to him, let's start breathing. And I was sending my blog so they could understanding the level of breathing, because that is the first step I see everyone should start doing. So
Yeah.
you can tell me about your opinion about breathing, because I have a very big opinion about that, and I want other to tell if they have the same
Yeah.
opinion about
Yeah.
breathing.
So in my culture, I was, born and brought up in Sri Lanka, and I
Mm,
was born into a Hindu family. So when I was little, I was introduced to yoga. And when you learn yoga traditionally in our culture, you will learn breath work. So you learn to breathe properly. And then there are asanas. When I talk about asanas, it's in English, if I can directly translate it, it's more like exercises and stretching and poses. So asana means seat or pose. So poses. And then you also learn certain other kriya sometimes. So there are so many different aspects to yoga. So breathing is part of it. So in Sanskrit, we call it pranayama. So pranayama is actually about how you're gonna breathe in and breathe out. So there's different ways to breathe for different purposes. And if I'm talking in general, because we don't have anyone else asking any other questions, you're more than welcome to ask me questions. I'm also a hatha yoga practitioner as well, and I'm also a teacher. But the thing is that when we talk about breathing, most people think, still nowadays, there are a lot of scientific research in terms of breathing, but a lot of people think, oh, I'm already breathing, that's why I'm alive. They joke about it and then they walk away. But then they don't really understand how powerful it can be. So there are breathing when you normally breathe in a proper way, your energy level increase, you don't feel tired too often, and you don't probably have to go for Red Bull or mother drink and all those kind of stuff, because you're already feeling energized and you're feeling like you have a lot of energy throughout the day. And also, what that means is you learn to use the full capacity of your lungs, because normally when people are breathing, they are chest breathers. Some people.
mm,
So I did a video in my language, And then I posted, we need to breathe from our stomach. And someone actually jokingly said, "Oh, so we all have to become a belly breathers. Everything is fine after that." But the thing is, not everything's going to be fine if you use your stomach. But the thing is that, of course, the lung is not in your stomach, but the diaphragm is here, and then we have rib cage. So there are different techniques that you can learn to expand your lung and use the full capacity of your lung. When you do that, you learn to activate certain part of your life, certain dimensions that you never thought it was there before. You will be happy for no reason. You will feel blissed out. So there are breath work that you can do. After you do that particular breath work, you'll be fully flooded with these happy hormones like dopamine and serotonin, and you feel so amazing. People who have used drugs or psychedelics and all that, you can actually achieve those kind of states using breath work as well. So the breath work is very important for our own self-realization, keeping ourselves happier and keeping ourselves energetic. So you can stay focused on whatever you're doing, whether you are studying or working or, excuse me, you need to do more for your family or whatever. It gives you that energy and focus and strength to carry on throughout the day.
Yeah, and I also see I with my I learn my clients to breathe, and I see they learn to stay more focused. And as you say, some say, "Oh, then everything disappear." It's not like everything disappeared, like your problem not, but you will be easier to focus on your problem. But
Yeah,
actually, it have scientists prove that you can actually get some sickness away from breathing, and you will actually get a stronger immune system from breathing.
that's
So in
right.
that way, he can say, yeah, then we're all gonna be belly breather. But yeah, but it actually, I have not been sick since I learned about this breathing for 6 years, and so in that way, it's like it helping you a lot, and your immune system gets so strong. So if you have a low immune system, so if you just start breathing, it will always already there increase your your
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
So I tell people it is one of the most important things to learn,
yeah,
because, as you say, all breathing from the chest, like uh, we must down and breathe, and also
yeah,
because in that moment also we breathing in love, and we breathing out our
yeah,
garbage, or how you say, like.
yeah,
So yeah, I like that in your country you're learning to breathe. Of your Hindu or your Buddhism, they also learn it, I think, in Sri
yeah,
Lanka.
yeah. So, I mean, most people are open to yoga anyway,
Mm,
but mostly it's Hindus use yoga. And not every Hindus will learn it, because I was interested, and also I had pretty
mm,
bad asthma as a little child. I had
mm,
asthma, so one of my father's friend told him that if I learn yoga, it will help me with my asthma. So my
mm.
father introduced me to someone, and then he taught me some yoga and breath work and a few things. So I was doing it as a little kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then what happened with your asthma then? Did it
Yeah, it
disappear?
really helped me. It really helped me a lot. It
Mm,
helped me a lot because before that, I remember I would get sick very often and I get asthma attack on a regular basis. And then as I started doing all these things, it reduced a lot. It's not completely stopped, but it reduced a lot. And then
mm,
after I came to Australia when I was 18, and now I'm 46. So when I was 18, I came here, and then I wasn't doing anything for until my mid 20s. Then, yeah, I started having asthma attack again, and then later
mm,
on, I started everything again as well. And then, probably. it was reduced. At least 90% of my problem is gone, and then there's a little bit left where if during hay fever season I get asthma get triggered sometimes. Yeah,
Mm. Yeah,
yeah,
but that's it. I have learned, like, because I also have a lot of sickness when I was child, and then I have learned from a woman called Everett Rose, and she going in and talking about the emotions behind it. And when I was realized all that, then I was like, wow. And then in that end, I released a lot of my um
yeah, yeah,
sickness, because all these emotions was
yeah,
bringing up, and find out and working on that. The only thing I not, before I learned about healing, I not who could heal. It was my teeth. They was
yeah,
damaged from my trauma, but else now I can go in and heal everything, like with my, just with my breathing. And because you can
yeah,
use this breathing just not only when you like, also when you're driving car. If you're
yeah.
upset, you can all take like 10 breath, and then you can actually say like, okay.
Release.
So, and
Yeah.
when I dancing, I also breathing in that way we can, because the blood also gets circulate, and you get more
Mm,
oxygen. I was seeing
yeah,
one class have like inclusive myself, have memory problems, and with the breathing, the memories start come, but she have very much. But after 1 month with do the breathing, then um she start not saying the same things again and again. So it helping
yeah.
with.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I
So
can relate to these things as well. So in the past, I was like, I used to get asthma regularly throughout the whole year, but now it's only during the hay fever season, so
mm,
springtime.
mm,
Also, like I remember there were times I was in the cinema theater or somewhere else, and I had asthma getting triggered, and then I didn't have my medication or anything. All I did was just doing my breath work. It just
mm,
disappeared. So that's how powerful these breath works can be. But there are
yeah,
so many different varieties and types of
yes,
uh,
yes, yes,
you can do it for many different purposes.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
there's so many. Days where you're breathing from your stomach in and then out. Days you're breathing from your mouth, and days you're doing your nose, and there's many.
yeah, yeah,
And that's
yeah.
what I want to say to people. They should try what working best for them.
That's
I
right.
I using most WinHub, but I say to people, when you learn that, you can start studying about what you like to do.
Yeah, yeah,
But
true.
I don't know, what briefing are you doing? Are you doing briefing every day, or exercises, or?
Pretty much every day I do it.
Mm.
So I do some of the yogic breathing. So some of them can be Nadi Shuddhi. So it's alternate nostril breathing. So
Can
you're
you probably show how you do it so people can understand? Because we know so much, but we talking to people who don't know anything. Is so when you're talking about this briefing, can you explain a little
Yeah,
deeper?
so breathing into your stomach and sitting
Mm.
straight, and then you hold your fingers like that, and there's a reason why you do that. So when you learn it properly, you'll understand the science behind it. So you don't randomly do it, but there's a science behind it. So I hold my fingers like that, and then hold it like that, and then I'm breathing from one side and then
Mm.
breathing out. So alternate
Yeah.
nostril breathing. So
Yeah.
breathing in from the left side and then breathing out from the left side. So you're breathing in and out through your nostril, but you are breathing into when you're breathing in, you are breathing into your stomach, and
Mm.
then yeah. So you alternate nostril breathing, and then there's
Mm.
I do Kabalbati. So Kabalbati is like you forcefully exhaling and all that. And then I do Bastrika. And then sometimes I do two more breathing as well. I don't know if you heard of that.
Yeah.
And then
Tell what it is. Tell a little deeper about what it is.
two more breathing is very similar to Wim Hof method.
Mm.
Um, I personally think, I know they say, especially Wim Hof says, or people that I learned from who are certified Wim Hof teachers say it's not tumor breathing, but then I know tumor breathing as well. And then when I learned Wim Hof method, it's very similar to tumor breathing. So, but then Wim Hof calls it Wim Hof breathing method.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I don't want to, say anything about that, but at the same time,
No, no.
um, I feel like you have to give that respect to where it comes from, really.
Mm,
And so I do two more breathing, and I learned Wim Hof method as well. And then there's also, depending on what you're going through, there's also particular breathing that I do to energize myself with the life force energy. You have to go through a proper channel and proper teachers to learn these things. You can't just do it. Sometimes some of these breathing techniques can trigger certain things. What I mean by that is like when you do this breath work, what happened? There are nadis or the meridians get cleansed and activated, then certain chakras get activated as well. So when you learn it from people who know what they're talking about, you can safely do it. Otherwise,
mm,
it can trigger certain things that's been suppressed or stored in your chakras or nadis. So sometimes you may find it a bit difficult to focus on your day-to-day life if you're just randomly doing it because you just watch it on a video or something. So that's why it's
mm.
very important that you have proper guidance as well.
Yes, very important.
Yeah.
I will always say that. You have to go to someone and learn it.
Yeah.
It's not enough to see videos about breathing. You can see
Yeah.
video about many other things you can study, but the breathing is
Yeah.
very important. You have a teacher who will help show you and look at you how you do it so they can correct you in you say because then you not get the benefit out of it if we
Yeah.
just so so in
Yeah.
that way. Mm?
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the breath work, not to scare you or anything. If you're not
Mm.
doing it properly, sometimes you can black out.
Yes, yes.
Certain breath work, you may, um, there's a lot of things. I don't want to scare you, but when you get proper guidance and do it, you can, experience that bliss. You can experience different dimensional realities, and you can experience so much energy within you, and that joy and happiness within you for no reason. So that's how
Mm.
powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
then I think we should talk about. So thank you for speaking about the breathing. So now all your followers, you have something to thinking about the breathing, and also in my blogs will be something about the breathing. So I will talk
Yeah.
about like how can we get the young people to involve here in the world so we can get a
Yeah.
more joyful, happy world. So what is your
Yeah.
tool to help young people to what will you tell them to?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that it's very is there's no straightforward answer, right? When
No,
you
no.
when you use the word evolve, when we help people to evolve, I think whether we want it or not, in my personal experience, going through this this spiritual journey and all the things that I'm doing in my meditation and everything else that I'm doing, one of the things that I realized, as long as you are open to evolve, as you will be guided, and there will
Mm,
be guidance coming through always. The evolution, this path, is not for faint-hearted people. Like, you need to be ready to confront all your demons and all your challenges and all your triggers and everything that you suppress. You need to be able to deal with it, because when you want to evolve, it's more about when you even thinking about evolving, what does it really mean?
Mm,
Evolving to, people talk about we being one cell amoeba, and then through evolution we kind of, became different animals, and then monkey, and then from monkey we became human beings. Um, but from human being, what are we evolving into? You know, so
mm,
there are, ascended masters, there are so many other dimensional realities that you can tap into when you go deep into the spirituality. If that's something important, I think it is important to me because it helps me realize who I am really. So for young people or anyone who is looking to evolve, one of the important thing is to allocate a particular time for yourself and meditate, get into meditation, breath work, and also confronting your own demons. So when I'm talking about demons, this is not, like certain religion talking about how certain things are demonic and all that. But these demons are actually within us that we have to confront, where it could be your anger, it could be some of the trauma that you have gone through. Sorry, just like recently I thought I dealt with some of the sexual abuse that I went through. um but there was a part of me was still, I suppressed it so deep because it was so painful. It came to the surface within last 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it came to the surface. What I realized was there's a lot of shame attached to that sexual
mm,
abuse, you know.
mm,
So that was like, because I was hiding everything. I was like, not allowing myself to be myself with people because I always felt like I had to put a facade. So all these are your inner demons that you have to face.
mm.
Anything that doesn't allow you to be your true self, anything that doesn't allow you to be your authentic self, these are the demons that is holding you back. So these are your own darkness that you have to deal with. So when I worked through that, there's tremendous release of energy and tremendous amount of freedom in my life. I felt like, wow, I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling great for all these new teachings coming through. That only happened when I just opened up that Pandora box kind of thing, right? It's like a can of worms just started coming out. I just have to deal with it. And I dealt with it rather than running away from it or avoiding it. So evolution involves you really working through all those things as well. That's my understanding, yeah.
Mm,
So you can refine yourself. So when I talk about refining, is to become the true, authentic version of you.
mm,
Sometimes like we say things to please other people. But if you are your authentic version of yourself, why you even have to say certain things to please other people? Are you looking for
exactly.
validation? Are you looking to
And
people please because of something else? Maybe you have attachment issues or something like that, right? So when you look at all those things and dive deeper into that, you realize, oh, I can be my authentic version. And also at the same time, some people would say, oh, I'm just being myself. And then they are really rude as well. So you need to be really challenging all that as well. Is that needed? Or can you still open your heart and be authentic in that way as well? Because some people are so scared to open their heart and be vulnerable or be loving towards people, because they feel that somebody's going to hurt them if they are so loving, or somebody's going to take advantage of them. So you close your own heart. But if you're closing your own heart, you are the one going to be suffering. You are the one going to be struggling with that. So it's very important that we keep our heart open, and we also allow ourselves to challenge our own demons, and continue to evolve, continue to grow. So evolution for me is equal to growth. So growing in what direction and where you want to grow, that's all you have to answer it. So part of my work, that's what I do as well with people. So helping people to really work through some of those inner demons that they're struggling with, and then free themselves to become that authentic version of themselves. So when you become that, then you get rid of all these money block, you get rid of all these relationship block that you have, you get rid of all these blocks that's been stopping you from being the best version of yourself. So when you work through all these blocks, it gives you tremendous amount of freedom in your life to be who you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. And special back to this, you say with sexual abuse, and also my channel, I talk a lot about sexuality because that is a big taboo, and it's a big like also a lot of people don't talking about this sexual abuse, how it have affect them. I also have that in my life. So,
Yeah,
and we must working, as you say, we must working to the shadows. We must go so we can release ourselves to be the best version. And because all this actually, as you say, is it's put us to closing our heart, and it put us to be frustrated. I see all the sexual energy is connected to frustrated, shame, guilt,
yeah,
anger,
yeah,
shyness, whatever. And
yeah,
that's what I see helping people to come out from, like in a beautiful way, and find out what is healthy. How can you get a healthy sensuality
yeah, yeah.
instead of the how the porno have created the story in the people's mind, where I helping them to, hey, you have to go to all the steps for coming into the sensual and be intimate with someone, instead of we today we springing in with each other, and the first thing we have it's the intimacy before we have we know
Yeah,
each other. And that's what you say, it's and you get freedom when you release something in your soul, as you were saying. And that's what I also wanna, all you young people out there, I want you to really release all that, instead of going, I am 55 today, instead of go and should release something when you get older and older.
yeah,
You
yeah.
still do that, but before you do it, as you say, you feel much lighter now, you feel more happy, you have more energy. So
That's
instead
right.
of going and struggling when you're young, and I know they have to go to one mountain to one mountains, but still find
Yeah,
some teacher who can help you, because you more you going in, and in my call, be the pure soul of love you was born to be, like, because my company is that, because I get that name. So in that way, it's good to release it, you younger you are. As you say, when you move to Marlborough, it could have been nice for me, the teacher who could have helped you to like working on. How old
yeah.
was you when this sexual abuse happened to you?
So the first time was when I was about, I think, before I started school, I think I was about 4 years old.
Mm,
Um, and and then yeah, the person who abused me was only like 3 or 4 years older than me as well. Then, because as an adult, when I look back, I think that he probably was abused by someone else, because at that, if I was four and then the abuser was about 88 or 9 years old, what that means is he probably been abused by someone else as an adult looking back, because he's also, as an 8 or 9 years old, you are too little to understand all these things as well. So
mm,
understanding that, then when I was about 12 years old, I was molested. So that really um, made a big impact in my life, and there's a lot of um, when it comes to sexual abuse, one of the things is to really understand, there's part of you. Uh, I can talk about myself. So when I went through that, I was really horrified. I was really horrified. I was so scared, and um, and I was so ashamed what was going on. I think the shame came from, and then I felt impure as well. Then shame came from when I ejaculated around that time. Part of me liked that as well. So there's a lot of confusion. I think I was really scared and horrified, and I felt disgusted by everything that was happening. But then at the end, when I ejaculated, that part I liked it. So I was so confused. And then I started feeling ashamed because I liked it as well.
Mm,
So I didn't want to deal with that. I think I'd suppressed it for so long, and
mm,
I kind of moved on. I fell in love with a girl when I was about 16 years old, and then, but the thing is that I worked through that trauma, and I no longer carry that trauma. But then part of me, my shadow, the ego, still suppress that shame. You know what I mean?
exactly. My way
So
to say
it
shame.
was so,
It's so long, deep, deep inside the soul.
yeah, so it was so deep, and my ego suppressed it because so much pain attached to it. So even acknowledging that also means that I have to acknowledge, oh, I like someone sexually molesting me, kind of thing. So that's like, oh, what's wrong with me? That's my thinking. You know what I mean? So now when I look back, I'm like, oh, it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, this is what happened. And without those life experiences, I wouldn't be where I am. I know it wasn't right. People who haven't worked through these things would think, how dare you say something like that? And I'm still hurting. I'm still feeling depressed. I'm still feeling ashamed. I'm still feeling disgusted, or whatever you may feel, right? And there will be rage and anger. I want to, in the past, I wanted to just go and kill that guy, kind of thing, right? Like I used to feel that way. But when I
Mm,
worked through all those things, and I was also suicidal, and I wanted to not live in this world. I'm just
mm.
thinking, use that word, but then sometimes because of the censor or whatever, they may remove that. So I didn't want to live, and I was harming myself as well, cutting myself. And this is very graphic, but I don't want to go too much into it.
No, no,
But
but it's for others
yeah,
to hear about it because they
yeah,
always think of us who are coach or all that. They think we are because we are so light and happy now. They think, oh, nothing have happened to us. Like I say,
that's right.
I will never could have helped you if I not have go to it.
Yeah, that's quite interesting because
Mm,
like because I've worked through a lot of stuff in my life, when I'm talking to people, I'm always calm. I'm happy. I'm, deep within me, I'm always like really happy and joyful. And people around me think that I never had any bad experiences in my life, kind of thing. Because, if you ask me,
exactly.
yeah, because I had that courage to work through a lot of things, and most people don't. They just want to run away. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to confront all these things, right? Because it's so easy to blame someone else. But as long as you blame someone else, for example, yes, this guy molested me, but then if I keep blaming that person, I'm giving away my power, and then I'm expecting that person to apologize to me or say sorry or be punished for what he did, or whatever. But then I'm not really freeing myself from that. I'm not cutting the cords from that guy, that person, that guy who molested me. So when I learned to heal myself, I freed myself. and it no longer controls me. I can sit down and talk about it one on one. I know this is, going to go online, so I'm being mindful not to trigger certain people as well. But at the same time,
Mm.
when you talk to me one on one, I have no problem talking about it, and you will see that there's no emotions coming out in terms of sadness or rage or shame or guilt thing anymore, because
I
I've worked through all those things. But
like people.
these are the demons that I was talking about as well before, the inner demons. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the same as I have, like, because I growing up with learning to be naked. So for me, being naked, it's completely natural, but,
yeah,
and it trigger others a lot. And I'm like, yeah, but it I actually natural being naked. It's
yeah,
because also being because you're not being free at that time. But I was so lucky to learn that, and then you could also start saying, why should I learn that? But I learned that, and I'm so, as you also say, I'm so grateful for all the things. Also, we can go back and say I was also a long time angry of my parents when I was young. Why they let me see all kind of porno stuff? Why they let me see magazine? Why they let me see? But I will not could help people today if I not have going through all this. And as you say, it will not help me to keep being angry of them.
yeah,
And I realized, yeah, and it can courage to change yourself, but I still encourage all your young people, heal yourself before you get parents, because it's so important to heal ourselves,
yeah, yeah,
especially if we want to create a child also. And
yeah,
because, as you say, and it's so beautiful, we can talk about, as you say, because many things we just are happy people, because I also always happy, and they
yeah,
say, "Oh, you're always happy and you're always," yes, but I also have days where I must work on something,
yeah.
but I choose to be happy. It's a
Yeah.
choice.
It's a choice that we make. I think,
Yeah.
a lot of people, when I say I'm happy, some people think, how can you be happy? There's a lot going on around the world, a lot of things happening, and I'm working with people for example, yesterday I was working with a guy who was sexually abused, and he experienced so much trauma in his life, and I'm constantly hearing these things as well. And when you hear all these things, if you haven't healed that part of you, you can't help someone else because you will be triggered, you will be really struggling, and you can only look at it from your lens, right? So one of the things for me is to really see that how blessed that I am. And it's really humbling sitting here, and really seeing that and feeling that blessing in my life. When I say blessing, it's about because I had the chance and I had that open mind to work through all these things. See, I went through the traditional ways, like seeing a psychologist, seeing a psychiatrist, because I was suicidal, as I mentioned before. But I was medicated, but nothing really helped me. And then only later on, I had a holistic approach to my problem. That's when everything started shifting. That's when everything started changing in my life. So, some people I know, like someone that I knew, um, is no longer here because she really struggled with certain things. She was so much about, oh, only the Western way. I will only see a psychologist and a psychiatrist. That's pretty much it. And if it doesn't work, you need to be able to explore other things as well. Rather than just saying, oh, it's all woo woo, I don't want to do all these things. Just, just rather than going through all these pain, just explore it. Explore breath work, explore meditation, explore other things that you haven't explored before. Because if you just keep on doing the same thing again and again, and if you haven't received any result from it, and then if you keep doing it, that's the definition of insanity, right? Like Einstein said. So we have to do something different as well.
Yeah, and I say to people also just starting being grateful.
Yeah,
And say to people, I also write a blog about that, and it's like it just start small, writing 5 things you're grateful for. As you say, people say, how can you be happy when they having someone around? And I always have that motto, and I have said it almost in every video I make. It's yeah, but
yeah,
you are there where you are right now, and you cannot stop anything. And so you must be grateful
yeah,
or blessed being where you are right now. Because right now something
yeah,
happened to someone, and you actually must be happy for the life for them. Like I also say, when
yeah,
someone die, we should actually live for them because they're moving
yeah,
to another life, and we must be happy and do all the things they not could do.
yeah,
And it trigger a lot of people because, but it actually are. We could never sleep. We could never be here. We will all make suicides if we're thinking about what happened with someone right now.
yeah. True,
'Cause
true.
having something with someone right now. But
Yeah,
some of us, we are so lucky we are in a place where we can have we have a house over us, a roof over us, we have water, we have food, like, and we must be
yeah,
grateful for all this because someone don't have that.
yeah. True. I
Mm.
think another thing to realize is that, I remember a couple of years ago, a doctor reached out to me. She's a kidney specialist. And when she reached out to me, she said, my parents forced me to become a doctor. I lost my childhood because they always forced me to study all the time. And I'm a doctor now. I'm doing what they wanted me to do, but I'm not happy. I feel like I lost everything in my life. And then she was like, "Oh, you're not going to be like everyone else telling me to talk about what I'm grateful for. I don't want to do it because I'm not grateful for anything in my life." And some people think like that as well. And I think until then, no one really spoke to me like that. I know some people can feel like when you're really depressed or when you're really struggling, sometimes you can feel like there's nothing to be grateful for. But then no one really spoke to me in an aggressive way like that until that particular doctor spoke to me. So when she spoke to me, I was reflecting that. Um, See, as you start focusing on all the things that's going wrong in your life, your brain will be wired to think about only the negative things. And then you will miss out on all the good things that's happening in your life. You know, I use this as an example usually. If somebody believes that they are not beautiful, if you go and tell them you look beautiful today, some people can take it in the wrong way. Yeah, that happened to me once. So one of my best friend's mother actually came to a function, yeah, family function, and we were all together, and she looked beautiful, and then I just wanted to give her compliments, and I said, "Oh, you look beautiful. The dress and everything that you have on you looks perfect on you. You look beautiful." That's all I said. And then a few minutes later, my friend just, came to me and then said, "Oh, what did you tell my mom? Did you tell her something?" And then she's saying that you made fun of her. I'm like, "No, I didn't make fun of your mom. I said she looks beautiful. She looks really nice on that dress, and then all her hair and everything looked beautiful. So I said you look beautiful, and it was just coming from my heart." And then my friend was like, "Well, my mom thinks she's ugly, and if anybody gives any compliments about her dress or how she looks, she takes it in a wrong way." So, like sometimes we start believing that life is not um, good and life is miserable. That's the
Yeah,
only thing you will
stories.
see,
We create stories in our brain.
and you
Everything
miss out on. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
Like creating a story. We're creating story about if someone have said in school we are that way, then this
Yeah.
story keep repeating. And I also meet someone and say also, oh, you cannot just be grateful. Yes, you can actually just be grateful.
Yeah.
And then it's like I also discovered for 3 4 months ago, like is with the universe. We should manifestate out to the universe. But as you say, everything is our thoughts. As you say, if you think, oh, it's gonna be a bad day, it's gonna be a bad day, it's also gonna be a bad day, because I realize everything, the universe is in our soul. So it's
Yeah.
our soul we're talking to. Instead of, it's not like something, there's something higher, but that's more cosmic, and it's the universe. It's like, because it's our body we're talking to, and when we're talking into our body, as you say,
Yeah.
if you say, no, don't tell me there's nothing to be grateful for, then she tell her body all the time there's nothing to be grateful for.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And there's also,
it's bad, all is bad, all is bad.
yeah, and there's also a sense of entitlement as well. Some people, like they think everyone need to help them, everyone need to do something to them. That's also a bad attitude as well. You know, if I'm
Mm,
going outside expecting everyone to do something for me good or be nice to me, it comes to it's up to me how I want to live this life. You know, it's not nobody else's responsibility to make me feel happy. You know, when we really get that, you know, it's not my friend's responsibility to make me happy. It's not my girlfriend or boyfriend's responsibility to make me happy. It's not my parents' responsibility to make me happy. Yeah, it's probably their responsibility to provide for you and bring you up. But then as you grow older, it's your responsibility. Yeah, you know, things happen in all our life. Most people experience horrible things in their life, right? But I don't want
that
to
I
take
think we
away that. But what are you doing with that now? It's 100% your responsibility where you are in your life now.
but yes, exactly, responsible. I also say take the responsible. You have the responsible, and that's what I really want to, like, you have the responsible for your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always, always,
Always.
every minute. I was seeing like this about this monster, this two Menson's boy, and I was like, it's really interesting to see, like, because as you say, I think in every family something bad have happened,
Yeah.
no matter what. Something, some have less trauma and some have many traumas, but I believe in, and I think we should close the show up with take responsible. And
That's right.
you say your last word about responsible.
Yeah. Thank you. I think responsibility, you know, I look at it like this. There are two types of people. You know, it's not about boxing people or categorizing people and judging people, but it's about how we can look at our life. There are people who constantly play a victim role in their life. Yeah. They feel like everything's going wrong. I'm a victim. And then these are the people, they will feel sad and depressed or angry and keep blaming other people for everything going wrong in their life. And they will never be happy because what's happening is as long as you blame someone else, what's going to happen? You are expecting someone else to change. You are expecting things outside of you to change for you to be happy. So, as long as you focus on that, you will never be happy. You will never be successful because you are expecting everything else to be in perfect condition. The world is not perfect, and I'm not perfect, and nobody can say that they are perfect in their life. Yeah. And on the other side, there are people who can be successful and happy and joyful, um, because they take responsibility. For example, I only became happier and joyful in my life only after I took responsibility. Yes, I have gone through a lot of domestic violence in my life. I've been sexually abused, and then later on I was I lived through war, and I experienced a lot of war trauma. I lost a lot of my close friends and relatives to the war, being killed. And then I came to Australia as a refugee, and I struggled. Then I asked myself, how do I really want to make my life? And then in the beginning I really struggled. I became suicidal after coming to Australia. And then later on, in my late 20s, I started challenging myself. I started working with myself. So that's when I realized, no, it's nobody's business that they have to take responsibility for my happiness. Because, sometimes when somebody says something, we get triggered. When somebody do something, we get triggered because we are expecting people to tiptoe around our triggers, and that's not fair. And it's our responsibility to work with our own triggers. It's nobody's business, really. So when we take responsibility, we that's when I really felt that a I have a lot of power in my hand when I took responsibility. And I started experiencing that freedom in my life and the happiness and joy, everything within me. So if you want to experience that as well, ask yourself, how can I take responsibility for my life and how I'm living my life? So if your mind is going in a direction, oh, but my partner's doing all this to me, or my girlfriend is doing all this to me, or my I have a pretty bad childhood. My parents were like this, alcoholics, or they were abusive, or whatever. As long as you keep telling these things, it's probably happening. But as long as you are keep telling and repeating this, your brain, your mind will believe it and keep you as a victim. Nothing will change. But then you just have to ask yourself, okay, how can I change this? What do I need to change this now? And it also involves you working through all your triggers, all the things that's still bothering you. You need to work through that as well. This is part of you taking responsibility as well. Yeah.
So thank you so much for being in the show today and
Thank
take
you.
for your life because we are only here and now and we don't know if we are here tomorrow. So thank you so
Yeah.
much. One who have listened. My name is Ear Beauty, awesome Filipino sunny day, and you can find me on puresoul.com. And I'm so grateful for listening to us today, and I'm so grateful for Hannah was with me in this show today. So please, all people in the world, take responsible because you can change your story. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank
So
you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for watching and listening. And yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity. And yeah, thank you. See you.
see you.
Bye.